Hello and welcome to Life at the Laundry Garden. Today the weather has significantly changed and it feels like October for the first time. We've had a real mixed bag of weather this week where we've had heavy rain and glorious sunshine and very warm as well. So it's been quite a nice relief and I'm sure the whole garden is feeling it too. But these behind me here, I have a feeling we're going to be close to losing them fairly soon, where they're just going to get hit by the frosts and then we can lift them. But before all that, I'm actually going to enjoy them while they still last. We can see there's quite a few that need some deadheading in the trough. So I'm going to get on with that quickly and then move on into the wall garden with Hannah, where we're just going to be doing a lot of tidying up and getting prepared for the winter months ahead. After I've finished deadheading all of these, I'm going to head into the wall garden. And a big thing I need to do now is to label all the dahlias, purely because I need to remind myself of each variety for when it comes to lifting them. Because once the frost hits them, they are totally unrecognisable, as you can imagine. So I'm going to get on with this and then we'll head into the wall garden. And I've got Hannah just over there. I can have a quick hello to her. And then I've made a decision that I'm going to head over into the dahlia corner and start labelling them, because we had a discussion earlier, Hannah and I, and it's looking like we might get a frost this weekend. And I don't want to run that chance of coming outside, having not labelled my dahlias and thinking, I wish I'd done it. So when Hannah got here this morning, we had our little discussion on what my ideas are on what we want to get done in the garden. And my first plans were to obviously tidy up this area where we are now. We've got quite a lot of forget-me-nots, so a lot of them needed to be pulled out, ready for the next lot of seedlings to come up in the spring. And a few, lots of clearing and just generally tidying. Interestingly, at this time of year, I've always kind of not bothered too much with the garden as such, because I always think to myself, I've got plenty of time, I'll be back out in the garden fully come January and I'll really hit on it then. But because we're opening at the end of April, I've just got this funny feeling, and Hannah and I have been talking about this.
I think we're going to have a harsh winter.
I know. I think it might snow. It could snow next week, you just don't know. So
we've said snow in Scotland.
Oh, stop.
Sorry, very bad news. Hannah's
Well, it's not bad news, and I don't mind snow at all. I don't mind any weather bar serious, horrendous wind. Yeah. However, I'm just having a slight wobble that we need to get ahead of the game and start cutting back. And I know a lot of people are thinking, no, don't cut back, and I get that. I understand that the no cut back and enjoy the frosty bits. And there is a lot of structure in this garden to enjoy the frost touching all of these. We're going to leave some of the echinops with their heads on just behind here, and the buddleia, that'll all stay upright. So there's going to be a lot of structure that'll be kissed by the frosts and any snow in the winter months. So that will remain, but it's just the lower stuff down here. Oh, that's John, my son. He's clearing up all the yew clippings from Tom. He's still yew clipping, unfortunately, but he's nearly there. He's coming to the end. Anyway, I digress. So yes, we just need to get ahead of the game.
I'm a cutter-backer, aren't I?
You are a
not.
cutter. So Hannah's a severe. She's like, can I cut this back? And it's
Like, I'm done. It's done its thing.
just
Go.
take it all back. And I'm going, no, just leave that and leave that and leave that. So we do come to a bit of a compromise, which is really good. And it sometimes forces my hand. Oh, the bird's having a bird bath. Sorry, we keep getting distracted by birds.
The robin's literally behind you as well.
Oh, very sweet.
Gardener's best friend.
Yes.
So yeah, so clearing out today, aren't we?
Anyway,
yes.
Where was I? Yes. So when Hannah arrived this morning, we had our discussion, and I said, right, we're both going to work in here and get some tidying done and some cutting back, and we'll work right the way to the end of this border and move into the other areas as well.
But then I broke the news that there's going to be frost this week to Jenny.
She likes to break these things to me.
Gently.
So I had a slight wobble and thought to myself, this means I'm going to have to label the dahlias.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to leave Hannah to carry on here, and I'm going to go and get some labels, and I'm going to go over here into the corner where I've got the bulk of them and get them labelled, because
that's it, isn't it?
Yeah. Once the frost gets them, you can't tell which is which. And it's not that I will forget where they are, and I know where a few are, but there are certain ones that I really want to keep for next year, and there are other ones that I'm not so fussed about, that actually some can go. They've done their thing, and some of them don't look very well either. So I'm going to go and pick out the best ones, my favourite ones, like Spartacus and Zundet Mystery Fox and Joey Morella, and there's a few others. Oh yeah, Why Not Jill? I love that one. Well, I'm going to get on with that. I'm going to leave Hannah to this, and yes, spreading the jobs, you see. Oh, got wet knees now.
Good luck, Jen.
Thanks. In my potting shed, on previous years when I've lifted the dahlias, I've always used these labels, and they are tear-proof, they're waterproof, and I just jot their name on and then tie them to the base of the dahlia that I want to remember the name of. So already I've got names written on from previous years, so I've got a great box of things in here. So I'm going to go through all of these and go over to the dahlias and start wrapping around their labels. So not all of the dahlias have done very well this year, especially this one down here. And it looks very sickly, it's not flowered, and I suspect it could have dahlia gall, which is not a very nice thing for a dahlia to have. It basically turns their tubers into, they look a bit like cauliflowers, and I'll show you when I do lift them what it looks like, because I highly suspect that that's what this has here. This is Linda's baby. All of these dahlias have been in the ground for, this will be their 3rd year now, so they're definitely due to come out to be lifted and split anyway, but there are a handful that will just have to be lifted and discarded, which opens up a new opportunity to put new ones in next year. Excited. Right, I better crack on and get labelling. Oh, the sun's come out. Oh, that's a welcome surprise. Okay, I've gone into the box because there's quite a jumbled up mess of dahlias that I no longer have, and I've picked out all the ones that are in this section, and then I will go over to the right dahlia, and you'll see just down here, this one is Wine-Eyed Jill, and I've attached it to the actual dahlia itself. I do have labels, but the problem with the labels is that, well, you can see this one's faded and they can disappear, they can get plucked out by a dog, and they can easily become lost. Whereas if the label is actually attached to the plant itself, you've got a better chance of identifying it when the time comes. Just as I finished my lunch, I realised that we've had a delivery by the back door. Look what's arrived. These are the wallflowers that will be planted with the tulip collections that I've shown you in one of my episodes. So what I've done is I've carried the box over and unwrapped everything and split them into 3 trugs here. So I'll just quickly show you how they've arrived. They've just come in these lovely root balls, and they can dry out in transit, so we're going to sit them in some water and let them just have a good drink, at least for, I don't know, a few hours maybe. And I put them in 3 separate trugs because of so these labels came with them. So I've got the erysimum, the primrose dip. So that one will be going over there in these 2 beds. There's some tulips. And these ones, one set will be going in the trough and another elsewhere in the garden. But in the meantime, we're going to let them have a drink, and then they will go in some pots. Okay, so all of the wallflowers have had a good drink and are ready to either be potted up or go straight into the ground. So I've separated all the bundles as well, and they basically look like this. We've got a nice bit of root going on here, and I've loosened this soil so that it makes it very easy for me to just make a little hole to pop them in. And then all I do is gently place them in the ground like so. So I'm going to use my hand as the measurement and plant them so far apart. So I'll have 3 rows in here. So these are going to look fabulous come the spring, and they do start flowering before any tulips as well, so it just gives you that extra bit of colour before they come along. Now I've got some bulbs in here as well, so that's good. So I'm going to show you what else I'm going to do with the other wallflowers, because I'm not going to plant all of them in the ground, because on the other side, I'll show you now, so if you remember when I told you about the frosted snow tulip collection going in here, the wallflower primrose dame or dam will be going in with them as well. Now the only thing is I cannot plant the wallflowers until the tulips have gone in, and the tulips can't go in until the temperatures drop a lot more, which means next month or possibly even the month after, depending. So I'm going to have to do something with the wallflowers in the meantime. So all I'm going to do is this. I'm going to take a tray and an old sack that I've used from compost or hen feed or anything I can pierce holes into for drainage. And I'm going to line it with this, pierce it with holes. Then I'm going to put only half fill it with some peat-free compost, very loosely as well. And then all I need to do is heel these in to the compost so that when the time comes to put them in the ground, I can very gently ease them out of here. They will have gained more roots, of course, but not too much. And also it saves me the job of potting them into lots and lots of individual pots, and they're all in one place as well, so I don't have to use hundreds of labels, and it just makes my life a lot easier and makes a lot more sense too. Now they may seem a bit close together and packed into here, but what I can do is lift them out by this and then just gently tease them out when the time comes. So it won't be a problem at all. They'll be absolutely fine and still ready to go straight into the ground when all the tulips have gone in beneath them. Now the other thing I'm going to be doing with the other wallflowers that are going into the trough is this. I'm going to be putting them into pots, and that is because these will be going into the trough by the house, and it's just going to be a quicker and easier way for me to get them all positioned in there, and also there aren't as many going into the trough as there are over there, so I don't mind popping them into a pot. So basically all I'm going to do is put a bit of peat-free compost into the bottom, tease out one of the wallflowers, you see it's a good root system there, stand that just there, and then just fill in around the edge. Give it a little shake so it gently goes round the root, and then just a little bit more around the edges. Gently press it in, bit of a tap, and then, not forgetting, here's one I did earlier, label. Don't forget labels. You can never have too many of these things, honestly. So, I've got a bit of potting to do. Done. And there they all are, huddled together, ready to go into the trough. Well, that's it for this week. I'm going to head over and finish planting off the rest of the wallflowers over there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.